When I first came to Sophia Town, I didn't fit in, and Princess made sure I knew it. And she said I was too white, too clean, too soft. Maybe I was, but Princess, she was strong. She spoke her mind. She walked with pride, even when life tried to crush her. That was her way of resisting. Not with speeches or signs, but with presence, with refusing to be invisible. People might call her a flirt or say after experiencing gender-based violence for the longest time, she's just surviving. But I've seen more. She protects the people she loves. She dares to dream, and in a place like this, that's real courage. And in the end, she left. She escaped, not just from Sophia Town, but from the roles they tried to trap her in. That escape, that was her rebellion. I came here thinking I had something to teach, but it was Princess who taught me what strength really looks like.
It was early in the morning, about 1 or 2 a.m. I decided to look through Jake's stuff to find out the secrets he had been keeping from me, the truth. Suddenly, I heard Mingus's voice. Mingus, the gangster who showed me the cracks in his mask and showed me how cruel he was early on, sending Charlie to kill the dogs. But pretty soon, I saw his full true colors. He strangles Princess. No one stood up for her, not even Jake's. Yet I did. She slept in my bed. I was safe from Mingus. Until now. I felt my heart beating out of my chest as he stepped closer to me. He told me that he had just been on a job, something I had no interest in hearing. He wanted to go out for a drive. He said it was just an innocent drive, but I wasn't naive enough to believe that. I had been in Sophia Town at 65 Gertie Street long enough to know what he truly meant. Mingus' say was final. Nobody says no to Mingus. Until me. Despite the fact that I feared for my life as a strong, cruel gangster who forced me to feel his loaded gun, I stood my ground. I said no to Mingus, because even though he said I led him on, I never did. I never cared for Mingus. I only had eyes for Jake's, and he had eyes for me too. But the Boer made sure we could never be.
I remember very clearly. It was Friday night and I was missing my family dearly. So I thought it was the perfect time to share my Jewish culture with James, Mama Retty, and the rest of the wonderful people of 65 Gertie Street. Experiencing my life in Yeovil at their table in the Shabby lit their eyes and lifted their spirits in more ways than one. I remember Lulu getting tipsy and everyone being happy and singing together. The Shabbos prayer for the wine. Blessed be the Lord our God, King of the universe, who gave us the fruit of the vine. And I remember we compared cultures and spoke about God. Having God is one and God in three in one. I was so surprised when I saw Fafi spilling the wine and I asked him why he did it. They explained that it was for the ancestors. I was so surprised. I realized maybe we're not so different after all. Mama Ruti and I had a conversation I'll never forget. She explained that she wanted to put a sign on the door, just like the Jews did on Passover, so that their home would be passed over by the G-men. When the G-men came, how I wish there was a sign on that door. Now I know. Oh, Ruthi, it's too late.
If I had to write a letter to Charlie, and if he could read, there is so much to say. I'll always remember my first encounter with Charlie when I arrived at 65 Gertie Street. I walked in, unsure of where I was and what was going to happen, and I felt this weird sensation on my feet. I looked down and saw Charlie polishing away. I got the fright of my life. He was so desperate to clean my shoes, as if it was his life mission. He was so determined to please his boss Mingus that he didn't realize that he too existed in this world of Sophia Town, a world that he was too good for, a world that betrayed him in the end. After he was abandoned by Mingus and realized that being colored meant that there was no place, no home, no house for him. Without Mingus, he was lost. No quest, no purpose, nothing to do, little chance of survival. Charlie's life sadly ended after getting into a fight and being stabbed numerous times. He crawled 5 blocks to get back to all he had ever known, having no real family. He lost his life in the rubble and ruin of the place he thought was safe, Sophia Town, renamed Triumph after the evictions and established as a white neighborhood. Post-1994, it was renamed again, back to the original Sophia Town. The rest is history.
In every voice, through every flame, they say home is where the heart is. They say that a house is not a home. If I die in my house, I will lie hopeless in my home. The back of the moon lit up the night. Even in struggle we held on tight. They speak of peace on TV screens while families live through silent screams. Leaders sit with hands held high but turn away as children die. Still we cry and still they lie. White lives lost, no reason why. From parliament to dusty land, we bleed unheard, no helping hand. Arms meant to fight, arms meant to rise up. Through tear gas, threats and dirty lies. But then the bulldozers came and they crushed our light. But we will not give up, we will still fight. We won't back down, we won't retreat till justice rises on every street.